I spent the whole day playing games on the Nintendo Switch 2, and honestly, I'm devastated. Not because the games were bad, but because I need more. I need the Switch 2 right now. So I'm showing you every game that I played, giving you a direct side-by-side comparison of one game on the current Switch versus the Switch 2, answering all your burning questions, and we're busting some major misinformation that I haven't seen anybody else talk about in their previews, including warning you about a game if you have motion sickness like I do. Nintendo UK invited me to this experience, but as usual, that's not gonna deter me from telling you exactly how I felt, good and bad. The first thing I was interested in is, of course, the new Joy-Cons. And sadly, none of the Switches that I used let me experience the magnet, so I couldn't see how the Joy-Con snaps onto the Switch and how it snaps out. The crazy thing is I went to 5 different games and I asked the Nintendo team members if I can test out how the magnets work, and all 5 of them said, no, you can't. Only to find out later today that, yeah, you can actually, there was a place where you can try how the Joy-Cons snap and snap out of it. So I'm really sad on that end that I couldn't, snap it and snap it back. Like, it looks really fun. I wanted to try it. Like, what do you mean? But anyways, I've seen other creators do it and it looks very snappy, very quick. And based on my experience holding the Nintendo Switch, they are very sturdy. They are not wobbly, so you don't have to worry about that based on the handhelds that I have tried in today's experience. Now, keep in mind that the Nintendo team also let me know that all the Switches that were in the venue today were more so prototypes, so that means that this is not the final version that will be shipped to us, so things can change. Regardless of not being able to snap the magnets in and out, using the Joy-Cons felt a lot more natural than the current Nintendo Switch. Maybe it's the wider sticks or the bigger Joy-Cons overall, I'm not sure, but my hands did not cramp up as quickly as they usually do when I use my current Nintendo Switch, which I cannot play on without a grip at all times. I always feel like my hands are cramping within a few minutes, so that did not happen in today's experience. However, that mouse function, while it's very innovative and very fun to see, I can suspect it will cause a lot of cramping when playing for long sessions. I tried the mouse feature with the World Tour game, Mario Jamboree, as well as Metroid Prime. We're gonna talk about that in a bit, but that last one made my pinky go numb and I felt my hand cramping up. Now, I use this Logitech ergonomic mouse. As you can see, you use it this way. It's very wide and it makes it very natural for my hand to use. When compared to the Joy-Cons on the Nintendo Switch 2, they're a lot slimmer and smaller than this mouse. So I can see this being a problem. So maybe Nintendo or third-party companies will make their own attachments that will make this just more usable. And the team were taking notes about how people were feeling when they were trying the mouse features today. So I really hope that they use this feedback, because one of the members told me that I wasn't the only one who experienced cramping and my pinky going numb. So if more people are experiencing the same thing, then it's gonna be a wider problem when a lot more people are going to try it out. And yes, you can use the mouse feature on your lap as well, and that makes it very flexible with the surface that you can use. This mouse feature can be a game changer, especially for us cozy and farming games lovers. With games that are gonna let us terraform and decorate, for example, Fantasy Life and Guardians of Azuma, it can encourage a lot more game devs to see the potential of bringing their titles onto the Nintendo Switch, especially when the majority of cozy games right now are being made by indie studios, so every bit is going to help them give us more cozy and farming games that we can enjoy in handheld mode when they have more features to play with. I also tried the new Switch controller when playing various games, including Hogwarts Legacy, Mario Kart, and Donkey Kong. And yes, there are these like sparkles on the controller, so it's not just matte black, it is matte black with sparkles on it. They're very cute. I wish I paid more attention to see if the Switch itself had these sparkles as well, so I cannot confirm or deny if these cute little sparkles are on the handheld itself. While talking about Joy-Cons and controllers, there's a rumor spreading around about the lack of Hall effect stick. So basically, this is what could help with the lifelong Switch problem of Joycon Drift. I think it would be very stupid on Nintendo's end to not think about a problem they had to deal with for the past 8 years, and even had to offer free services in certain countries to repair these problems. But only time is gonna tell when different people open up their controllers and their Joy-Cons and show us what's inside to give us confirmation, or if Nintendo Nintendo themselves let us know what kind of technology they're gonna use to make these Joy-Cons sturdy, but also more durable and have more longevity. Of course, we also have the new cash button. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, no, that's chat button on the Joy-Cons and the controller. I did not get to use them in this experience. And to be honest, I don't really even care. I don't really play with friends online, so I doubt I'm the correct person to answer any questions on this. Anyways, I'm a loner, so what do you want from me? Jokes aside, I only play Fortnite as a community game, and I usually just use Discord for that. So otherwise, you're just gonna be finding me in bed playing RPGs or farming games, which are solo adventures, and they're not gonna require the chat button. And a few of you asked me 2 questions. Is the Switch gonna get hot when we're playing in handheld mode? And how is the battery life? We got news from Eurogamer, which said that the Switch 2 battery life is worse than the original Switch, with it giving us between 3 to 7 hours. That is a lot less than the current Switch OLED that has between 4.5 to 9 hours. While that might sound bad to a lot of you, I have a Steam Deck and I'm used to the battery just running out within 3 hours tops, so it doesn't really bother me that the Switch 2 has a shorter battery life. I play from home most of the time anyways, so I can always quickly recharge it, but that might be an issue for you. In my experience today, each demo was about 5 to 15 minutes long, so that is way too short for me to tell if the battery life lasts long enough. Plus, all the handhelds were wrapped up in a charger. As for the handheld getting too hot or maybe like too loud, again, 5 to 15 minutes is not enough for me to tell. The handheld was pretty chill as far as I could tell, and with the noise, we were in a very loud venue, so it was pretty much impossible to hear if the fans are going crazy, especially when playing more intensive games like Cyberpunk and Tears of the Kingdom. Now, misinformation has been spreading around the internet, and of course, it's all for a good reason. Nintendo is just not being communicative properly about a lot of things, and that makes it on us to speculate and just see stuff and not know what is happening. And then one person says something and we think it's true. And then like I even went ahead and said, let's cover this. So for example, we thought that Mario Kart World is gonna cost $80 for the digital edition and $90 for the physical edition. However, later on it was discovered that the currency is in euros. So that applies to Europe and not the US. So this is what I thought in my Nintendo Switch short, as well as my Switch 2 confirmed cozy and farming games. Excellent video, by the way, because I show you a lot of confirmed games that are coming. Anyways, this is not to dismiss the fact that Mario Kart still costs $80, which is pretty high, and it could set the standard for future games. However, seeing that Donkey Kong Bonanza is $70, it can maybe put us at a little bit more ease. I don't know, you tell me how you feel about that. Also, it goes without saying, indie games, AA and AAA games will all cost differently. Yet we can see that upgrading from Switch 1 to Switch 2 can cost extra sometimes. So some games will be upgraded for free, quote unquote, if you have a Nintendo Switch Online membership, while others will still require extra fees. So make sure to check on the Nintendo website to know what needs extra money, or comment below if you have that question and a fellow bubbly will answer you. And we were also told that exclusive titles will vary in price depending on how big they are and how much effort was put into making them. So I played a lot of games, but before that, how cute is this greeting that we had when we walked into the experience? I felt like a bubbly queen. Anyway, myself and Mr. Bubbles started with Mario Kart World. I went with the cow because that's how we celebrated the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct about 2 weeks ago. So I thought, it was just fitting as we manifested the cow pretty much. And the game feels really good. I wish I could show you the docked version, but one of the team members was blocking the camera the whole time, bless their hearts, so I have footage of the handheld experience instead. The races that I played were not that difficult because we were playing against bots, but I like the range of new characters and outfits, as well as carts and the new items that we can use, and you can also see the cart stats by clicking Y. There were no speed options, but remember, this is a demo. Companies usually will be very specific with what they show us during demos and previews like this. Mario Kart World ran very smoothly, but I wish they let us explore the world a little bit, like get a taste of what we're signing up for and what the game is actually going to be. I avoided watching the treehouse because I just don't want to spoil it for myself, but based on my understanding so far, you can still enjoy it on your own, which makes me happy to hear. I then ran to Hogwarts Legacy. You know, that is my game of the year of 2023, and to see it running so well in docked mode, that was amazing. So it was running at 4K, it was smooth, controls felt really good. I really wish they let us try it in handheld to see how it performs, but I played this game on my potato laptop back in 2023, so to see how good it looked playing it on a freaking Nintendo Switch, that was amazing, and I envy anyone who's gonna play it and experience it for the first time on Nintendo Switch 2. After that, I found out freaking Cyberpunk is there, and you bet your butt I ran there. I mean, as you can probably tell, like, Cyberpunk, obviously I'm not a fan, obviously not a fan of CD Projekt Red in general, right? Like, I don't even have 3 Witcher tattoos, I don't know what you're talking about, but I did not walk there, I ran. I got to play it in docked mode. I did see someone play in handheld, and the game looked really smooth, but I didn't want to intrude too much, so I just let them do their own thing, and I played the game in docked mode instead. By the way, the lines were so long. Waiting for every game was taking about 30 minutes, so it was very difficult to get your hands on the handheld version. It was, guys, when I tell you the lines were long, they were long. Anyways, I still think it is crazy how well Cyberpunk is running on the Nintendo Switch 2. I met the community manager, amazing human being, and I was like, listen, I am buying this day one. I haven't finished Phantom Liberty. I've rinsed the game overall, but not Phantom Liberty, so I think I'm gonna be doing that on Nintendo Switch 2. The game runs so smoothly, and Dogtown is known to be very demanding and heavy, and it's still, like, everything was still running perfectly fine, even with all of these NPCs around having their own routines rendering in. There was no stuttering, and everything was good. And you know, I've seen Digital Foundry compare the performance of the Switch 2 to PlayStation 4, and they even said that, you know what, it's actually even better, and I totally agree. This is how I would explain performance to you in a summary, especially when playing these two games, Hogwarts Legacy and Cyberpunk 2077. These are known to be very big, demanding games, so yeah, amazing. And oh, by the way, in Cyberpunk, I'm very happy to see that they have motion blur toggles, so the first thing I did was turn off motion blur. If you deal with motion sickness like I do, always make sure to visit the settings and see if you can change motion blur to off. And while talking about Cyberpunk, this is where we can bring up another misinformation that has been going around recently. Even though Nintendo has crushed it, I still see a lot of people just posting it on different videos, so let's address it here. It's about the game cartridges not having the full game in it. This is, again, lack of communication in the beginning on Nintendo's part, but a spokesperson have already confirmed that game cards will have the full game on them. So for example, Cyberpunk is using a 64 gig cartridge, and the full game is going to be on it. You don't have to download anything else. Whereas when it comes to things like The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, if you want to get the Nintendo Switch 2 version, it will come with the base game as well as the upgrade for it. So if you buy the Nintendo Switch 2 version, you're not just gonna get the base game and then you get like a code for it. No, you're just gonna get the full experience in that cartridge ready for you to play. So I would say your best bet moving forward is just make sure you look things up, look at the prices, make sure that your regional equivalent is known, and also when it comes to what needs to be downloaded and what doesn't need to be downloaded from the cartridge, like is it gonna be the full game in the cartridge, or do I insert that cartridge and then I have to download games? Everything just has to have a little bit more research on your end. I'm gonna do my best to let you know in my reviews, but also please be vigilant so you don't get upset later on if you get something that is, you know, turns out to not be what you wanted. I also wanted to show you Tears of the Kingdom on my current Switch side by side with the Switch 2, and oh my god, what an upgrade. But first, hello you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles running on literally 1 hour of sleep to bring you this video. If this video is helpful, do me a favor and consider supporting the channel by donating to Ko-fi or dropping a super sticker, or maybe becoming a channel member to enjoy lots of perks. Even squishing the like and subscribe buttons goes a long way, so I can always help you decide which games are worth your time, but also now which handhelds you should upgrade to. So yes, the next stop we did is I want to see what the fuss is all about when it comes to Tears of the Kingdom and how does it perform. Like, I hear everyone saying, oh, it's doing better than current Switch. I wanted to see it for myself. So I brought my own Switch OLED with my own Tears of the Kingdom copy. As you can see, I'm very early on in this game because I just never got the chance to play it, but I plan on playing it fully on the Switch 2. And right off the bat, the loading times are day and night different. Switch 2 is insanely quick compared to my Switch OLED, and what a welcome change that is. I don't know about you, but I cannot deal with how long the current Switch takes to load up games when I play a lot on my Steam Deck, and I just feel like, oh my god, this is so different, right? But I also wanted to see, how does the screen look like? I'm not gonna lie, I think the Switch 2 still looks pretty good, even though it's not an OLED screen. I think the HDR brings out the brightness and the darkness of the world in a way that makes it feel distinct, but also still very beautiful and unique in its own way, without having to get that oversaturated color palette that we get from OLED. So as much as I was worried about the Switch 2 not having an OLED screen, this screen looks pretty well. And this is coming from someone who is used to having OLED monitors, an OLED TV, OLED Switch, and OLED Steam Deck. Honestly, Switch 2 just looked perfectly fine. And yeah, as you can see, even jumping from high up, the pop-in is a lot less than how it is on the current Switch, and the game overall felt a lot smoother. So after that, I wanted to try that paid manual, or shall I say Astrobot equivalent that you just have to pay for, unlike how it was free on PlayStation 5. We're not gonna do that. Okay, I'm just gonna be nice. I tried the World Tour game, and it pretty much is there just to show you the different features that the Switch 2 has. And one thing that I really like about the Joy-Cons, which I got to experience through this game, is, for example, switching between having beads, is it beads? I don't know how to say the term, or rubber balls when shaking the Joy-Cons. You actually feel it. Like, you can actually feel the difference in the Joy-Cons, which was pretty cool. It feels like there is an actual ball inside the Joy-Con. The Joy-Cons overall and the handheld in itself feel a lot more premium than the current Switch, I have to say. Be it the material that they are using or how sturdy it is, I don't know, it just feels a lot better and more luxurious. And it really feels like it's worth that increase in price. Another minigame I tried with the World Tour that I enjoyed is that they show you how different FPSs look, and you kind of need to guess which is which. Listen, I'm one of those people that, like, I just cannot tell. Like, if you just tell me like, oh, this game is running at 40 and this game is running at 60, if you don't put it for me like side by side, I'm not gonna be able to tell. But this game actually made me realize how different they are, and I was like, oh wow, like there is a massive difference for even triggering my motion sickness when you're seeing a game at 40 but then also then at 60. It really does make such a great difference. I don't know if it's a skill issue on my end. I'm willing to take the L, but I usually can't tell unless it's something like, I don't know, 15 FPS, and I'll be like, what the heck is happening? But yeah, that game was pretty cool as well. But overall with this, like, basically I tried a few mini games and it was pretty much like, okay, it's fun, but I don't know about you, I'm not paying $5 or $10 or whatever the price is for a manual. I can pretty much guarantee that someone, if not everyone, will be covering all of these features for the Nintendo Switch 2 for free on YouTube, so I'm good, I'm not buying this. By the way, a lot of you have asked me if I played Rune Factory or Story of Seasons on the Switch 2, and sadly it just wasn't there. I wish I could. I would have told you how it ran, but make sure to subscribe because I will be reviewing the games on both, okay? So make sure you're here. We're locked in, yeah? That was the London Bubbles for a second for you. But after that, me and Mr. Bubbles wanted to play the update for Mario Party Jamboree. I've never played the, initial game anyways, but still, this was pretty fun. And the main thing was to try out the mouse controls even more and see how it implements its features in these games. So for example, one game had us stacking things up, and the team that had the highest tower would win, and you're gonna use like your mouse to rotate things around. Another game had us pick up Toad, and you're trying to not touch the electrocuted walls, so you have to twist your arm. Not like twist your arm, twist your wrist. That still sounds bad, but you get what I'm saying, like move it this way, so you don't hit the wall. That was pretty fun as well. We tried air hockey, which was pretty cool. We also did this one where you're organizing mail, and then there's this one where you grab a cart and you move your mouse backwards, and then you have to let it go so you can hit the target. But there are other carts controlled by the other players trying to be in your way, and you're all trying to like shove each other off the ledge. Me and Mr. Bubbles, we were not doing the best. I am very bad with these games, so bless him, he was doing half of the work on my behalf. Fortnite though, I'll be there, but Mario games usually I'm just like, peace out, skill issue. So I can safely say after trying the mouse features today, it just made me see how innovative developers can become with this. And as much as I'm excited about it, I'm also worried that they might just not make use of it. Because remember, the Switch also has a touchscreen and I rarely see anyone use it. So it would be a shame if we end up just not seeing anyone use the mouse features. Like, yeah, maybe a few Nintendo exclusives will make use of it, but then nobody else does. I don't know, time will tell, but I really hope that developers can take this as a chance to innovate even more with their games. I later on went to try Metroid Prime. I've never played this franchise before, but I love first-person shooters, and this one felt so good. It was running smoothly. I love the gunplay. There is aim assist, so if you're not used to these games, you're not gonna feel overwhelmed. You're gonna get help, and I really appreciate that. And I like how with this game and many other games, you can choose if you want to do the controller or if you want to try the mouse feature. And I could tell that the team was trying to push forward using the mouse feature, so we can see how the gameplay is going to be different when you do that. So with this one, for example, you use the mouse position with your right hand, whereas the Joy-Con in the left hand will just be held however is comfortable for you. The controls were pretty easy to get used to. It made me feel more intrigued about the full game, but I have to say, we're definitely gonna need some gadgets, be it Nintendo first-party or third-party gadgets, because again, the Joy-Cons were just way too slim. My pinky was starting to feel numb. It felt like I tried to position my hand in different ways, but yeah, no, it was cramping up. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the mouse feature yet. If it was like this thick, again, yes, it's not. It is like, I don't know. It's like a bit thicker than this, like, and then like, look at this. See, like doing something like even like that, let's say, and then doing like holding this, you can see, right? You can see it's a big difference. And now after that, I wanted to try Donkey Kong Bonanza. If you know me, I am not the bestest friend with platformers unless they are made just easy for me, right? I'm really happy to inform you that there is normal mode and assist mode. I always appreciate this because some people want to try games, but because they fall into a certain genre, they're like, nope. Anyways, I still went with the normal mode, and this game's gimmick is using punches. So you've got 3 buttons for punches. You can punch up, down, and I think like straight forward. And you can also use like a feature where you clap and you can collect gold from surrounding areas. And the gold is used for you to know how much life you've got left. So when I died, I lost some gold. The game will let you know where you need to go, and basically you're trying to collect bananas. You can also attack enemies by digging up a stone from the ground and then hitting the enemy with it. Gameplay felt nice, but it definitely got me feeling motion sick. I felt like the camera was way too close to Donkey Kong, and I didn't know if I can go to the settings and switch things around. Maybe change the FOV if that's available, just to make it like easier on my eyes. Especially in the beginning where I was inside a cave, I was just getting a little bit too dizzy. And as you can see, I eventually just got up and left the game. I just couldn't do it. So if you're like me and you suffer from motion sickness, when reviews are out, make sure to ask and know if there are options to make the camera a little bit easier on your eyes. You know, I was already excited about the Switch 2. I've already pre-ordered the bundle that comes with, you know, the Mario Kart World game. So I'm going to be unboxing it, showing you my experience with it and all of that. And while I know a lot of people are saying that it is a lot more expensive, especially compared to previous Nintendo Switches, I totally agree. It is a lot more expensive, but I think it is 100% worth it. I am so happy to see how much of an upgrade this Switch is to the original one. It is giving us much needed improvements. I don't know about you, but I have rarely touched my Switch in about 2 years. Yes, there has been a lot of games coming out, but I just can't tolerate the motion sickness and stuttering that a lot of games have been causing me. And then when it comes to the RPGs that I like to play, as well as cozy games, many of them are just either not working on the Switch, or they run terribly, or they're just not coming to the Switch at all. And I feel like this is going to change things moving forward. There are so many games that are lined up already for the launch date, and then followed up with the following months. We've got even more that are confirmed, as well as a lot of farming and cozy games that are already confirmed to be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. So make sure you watch this video next to catch up on that. Let me know if you're getting the Switch 2. Any shout out goes to our YouTube and Patreon bubblies who make videos like this possible. And thank you so much to Will, Game Dimension, Jake Logan, and Neha for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.